As the executive director, but thank you so much for reaching out to us to do this program with you.
Well, thank you so much for hosting us.
No,
Thank you.
Delightful.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight for our town hall, Tracing Histories. I am so grateful to Jane and Furin and Christina and Alex for hosting us in this gorgeous space, which is so perfect for our theme tonight, tracing our histories, our lineage, our identities, our memories. So we are very happy to be here tonight. Many of you, how many of you have been to a town hall before? A couple? Okay, not too many. So I'm just going to tell you, I'll give you a little rundown and tell you how it's going to go tonight. So for those of you who are familiar with A4, many of you are, some of you are not, we are a 40-year-old service organization that supports Asian American and Pacific Islander artists and arts organizations, and we work to ensure greater representation, equity, and opportunities for the community in all artistic disciplines. And Town Hall is one of our signature programs that we've been doing for probably over 10 years, and it's one of the ways that we fulfill our mission of bringing community together. So before we start, I'm going to share a few protocols, and then I will talk about some of our upcoming events. So I want to let you know that we are recording tonight, but we will be posting it online later if you want to relive the moment. It'll be on our YouTube channel and on our website. So please silence your phones so that people aren't interrupted by all of your messages. If there are restrooms right out the door here to the left, and then behind the kitchen to the right. They're gender neutral. And if anybody needs the Wi-Fi network because you want to tweet about how great this is, hashtag A4TownHall, the Wi-Fi network is AAA-A-guest, and the password is 23 Cranberry Street. So it's 23, capital C, Cranberry, S, capital S-T, period. Okay, so here's how it's going to go tonight. So we have 2 featured presenters and then 2 groups of short pitches, which are going to be 2 minutes in length. So we've expanded that. We will have a countdown. I have a little clock there in front for people that are pitching, and I can flag you at the end of 2 minutes. So I'm going to ask everybody who is doing their short pitches to be considerate of everybody else, because it's a full schedule, to stick to your 2-minute time limit. So after the first featured presenter goes, I will call the names of our 2-minute pitches, and your names will also appear on the screen here. So please be ready to go when your name is called, and then we'll do the whole thing over again when we have our second featured presenter. And then after all of the 2-minute pitchers are done and our 2 featured presenters are done, if anybody is so moved and wants to get up and talk about their project, you will be able to sign up for a 30-second slot to share your projects, and we hope you will do that. So we will share a QR code for you to do that at the end of the 2-minute pitches. And then we'll have more potluck and networking. So before, few quick announcements, and then you'll be done with me. Again, huge thanks to our friends at Asia Art Archive in America and the amazing A4 team, Justine Lee and Danny Wu and Leo Chang in the front there. I mentioned that we are recording. If you want to share anything tonight via social, you can tag us at AA Arts Alliance and hashtag A4TownHall. Also, please do us a favor and fill out the post-event survey. So we always try to improve our programs. That's why the pitches are now 2 minutes, because we actually listen to what you have to say. So please, share with us your thoughts very quick. It'll only take like a couple of minutes, I promise. And we have door prizes, raffle. Everybody loves a raffle. So if you fill this out, we'll draw names, and 2 lucky people will win 2 jars of Fly by Jing's zhang sauce, which is delicious. And we have 2 copies of the book Amazing Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders Who Inspire Us All, which is by the Shibutani twins, ice dancers. Anyway, okay, so 2 upcoming events that I wanted to share about A4. We have a career roundtable workshop called Table Dish coming up on July 26th at our offices. It's from 6:30 to 8:30. It's actually fully booked. It's if you're interested in public art, this is an amazing opportunity. We will have a wait list. So basically, it's a roundtable. We have six people in experts in public art. So the former director of the Percent for Art program, somebody who runs a fabrication company, somebody from a production manager from the Public Art Fund. So these are all people that are very well established in their field, and we'll sit with you in small groups, and you get to meet with 3 of them during the course of the evening, and it's like an AMA kind of format. So it's a really good event. People love it. So if you are interested, you can check it out on our website. And then next month, we're going to be co-presenting a free performance in Bryant Park with AAPI. So you can join us on Tuesday, August 15th. Let's hope the weather holds up. And that's from 8 to 9 o'clock. So guaranteed good time. They are fantastic and very inspiring. And then, let's see, have you checked out our new online magazine? We have a magazine. So it's called The AMP, and it features interviews, essays, reviews, listicles, all sorts of great content about AAP artists and creators. And we created this publication because there was a lack of voices, dog voices, see, Laka agrees. Stop. So we created the AMP. So we created the AMP to not only, sorry. I'm gonna have to leash her. So we created the AMP as a platform to amplify the voices of AAPI creators, as well as to archive the work that's being made right now in our community. So check it out. We had a great review of Tommy Ka's exhibition at Baxter Street earlier this spring, so you can find all that great content. And you can be part of the AMP too. If you want to pitch a story or a review idea, just send us what you want to do. The AMP at aaartsalliance.org. It's on the website. And speaking of being part of things, we are having our 40th anniversary celebration on October 12th, so I hope you'll save the date because we'll be sending out information soon, and you're going to want to be a part of it because it's going to be fabulous. And then just finally, a reminder to share your work with us. We have a website. It's very easy. It's free. It's fast. You can just create an account and then enter all of your events, exhibitions, readings, performances, whatever, on our calendar, and then that's what we pull from to include in our newsletter. So please either sign up for our newsletter on the website, add your events. We are here for you to amplify your work. So that's the spiel. I have to thank a few people. Thank you to the supporters who make this possible, the New York City Council, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs with the support of New York City Council, the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of Governor Kathy Hochul and the New York State Legislature, the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York Community Trust, Howard Gilman Foundation, the Ruth Foundation, and so many generous individuals just like you. So if you want to be on that list, you can just text A4DONATE, or you can hit that QR code, and feel free to send us some love. Okay, final thing, I'm just going to do a quick land acknowledgement because we know that the land that is politically designated as New York City is actually the homeland of the Lenape and Canarsie peoples who were violently displaced as a result of European settler colonialism over 400 years ago. And the Lenape and Canarsie are diasporic people who remain closely connected with this land and are its rightful stewards. So as an organization that focuses on the rights of underrepresented peoples, and in solidarity with Indigenous peoples, we recognize this history and we uplift the sovereignty of Indigenous people and territory. So we commit to dismantling ongoing settler colonial practices and their implications in the world. So now I would like to turn it over to Furin to introduce our first featured presenter.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Welcome, everyone. My name is Furin. I'm the Director of Programs Collections here. It's really nice to see a full house tonight. And we're very excited to co-hosting this iteration of town hall meeting with A4 and on the topic of tracing history. So now I'd like to introduce our first feature presenter, Ambika Trasi, who is also one of our leadership campers from 2018. Ambika is an artist, curator, and writer based in Brooklyn, New York. Her research-based practice considers the coloniality of power within images and size. She's interested in the role that memory, language, and technology play in identity making, community building, and unlearning. Ambika holds a BFA from New York University with a minor in South Asian study. So now I will turn it to you. Welcome.
Okay. Thanks for organizing. It's nice to be here tonight. Oh, it should be working. Let's see. Sorry. There we go. Okay. I want to tell you about the commonest of our termites or white ants, and what I am going to relate may be observed by anyone who wishes. You may even discover new wonders. In researching my ancestral history and my community's migration out of Goa and into Karnataka, a result of Portuguese colonialism, I came upon one of the only existing texts about my people, a dissertation written by the American scholar Frank F. Conlin that begins with the following words. Documentation of their past has been eroded by the ravages of the monsoon, the white ant, and human indifference. I was struck by the insufficiency of this line when I read it, a dismissal of oral histories in South Asia, a discounting of the colonial interventions that took place in the region. Intrigued by the mention of the white ant, I casually searched the term into Google. Having trouble with this. I casually searched the term into Google and learned that the white ant is a common misnomer for termite. Encountered the Australian slang white anting, meaning to undermine from within, and eventually arrived at The Soul of the White Ant, a text published in 1936, written by the poet and journalist Eugene Marais, depicting his close observation of termites in South Africa and their complex social structures. In 2016, when I first read Marais' text, I intended to create a project that applied his studies on termites towards describing the mechanisms of power complicit in the Portuguese colonization of Goa as a corrective to Conlin's blunt statement. When I presented a version of this lecture performance at a residency in Lisbon, I had a predetermined endpoint in mind. White anting felt apt towards describing an invasive force. The term white ant was an easy metaphor for Western imperialism. I used Marais' observation to consider the social structures complicit in imperial rule and consider how Portugal's age of discovery is still memorialized and kept alive today through the aesthetics and poetics embedded in Lisbon's landscape. Entomology enables an easy path for this. There's a colonial gaze to the science and insistence on applying man-made hierarchical notions to the natural world and insect societies. The termitary is referred to as a colony after all. Modern economic entomologists use their research to develop methods for controlling insects deemed as pests, agents of crop and property destruction, and disseminators of disease. So it was easy to consider the termitary as a microcosm of an oppressive regime, the queen as the embodiment of royal power, the soldier, termite as military force, and the workers as historians, writers, architects, priests, artists, and navigators who were complicit. But in revisiting this project, I knew I needed to re-examine the potential epistemic laziness that I brought to the first iteration. In the years since presenting it, I've gathered more research and knew I needed to expand this lecture to also acknowledge other systems of oppression present in Goa, notably Brahmanism, to critique the Sanskritization by Indo-Aryan settlers as much as Western imperialism is what true decolonization in the region requires. I also wondered how this new lecture performance may act as a reparative act and read of the termitary, rather than a paranoid one that acknowledges the mound as undisturbed land and its organic form in nature as one that resists any coloniality of power. In rereading Marais' text, I noticed that although he uses the traditional entomological terms to describe the termitary, he does not consider it a hierarchical society. Instead, he refers to the mound as a single living organism operating collectively for the common good. First, we must consider the termitary as a single animal whose organs have not been fused together as in a human being. Some termites form the mouth and digestive systems. Worker termites have strong, well-made jaws and glands, which they use to construct the most complicated building operations. Once they reach adult stature, they begin to carry and build carry food and build for the benefit of the whole. These pale termites continually go about their business of repairing fortifications, conveying water, carrying larvae, gardening, and feeding the royal pair. Soldier termites take the place of weapons in defense like claws and horns. Flying termites are the generative organs of the colony. The queen remains immobile in our chamber throughout the entirety of her life, and she is the brain of the organism. The influence that streams from the queen is something intangible, a powerful psychic phenomenon. She is the only mother of the millions which form the community. Every individual is born out of her. In April 2016, I visited Goa to survey its unique landscape and architecture, shaped by the Portuguese who occupied the region from 1510 to 1961. The Goan landscape is saturated with termite hills. Their density was even greater during ancient times. The largest and oldest hills near villages, some reaching over 2 meters high, became centers of worship called Sateri meaning mound, in the pre-Portuguese period. It was the most dominant cult of Goa. In the Neolithic period, the termitary was revered in its aniconic form as a symbol of fertility due to its shape and womb-like nature, the fertile soil around it, and its ability to withstand the elements and produce bounties of mushrooms. A cross-section of a termite mound reveals an abundance of diverse materials. Believed to have inspired many forms of folk deities, it's speculated that the mushroom clusters and Cirrorhiza became the protective arms and capped heads of Sheshripala, and a fungus garden, the form of a Shishnag. Ritualistic worship of the termitaries in Goa as a fertility symbol diminished with the powerful Aryan influence in the south, and during the Sri Lahar and Kandaba regimes, the advent of Saraswat clans relegated folk deities to minor positions, and centers of Satheri worship were appropriated by the new settlers, its forms absorbed into Sanskrit myths. One such myth is that of Valmiki, a thief who sought repentance for meditating for 1,000 years while repeating the name Mara, the god of death, until it became Ram, while termites built a hill around him. He emerged at the termitary as a sage and became a mythic scribe of the Ramayana. In these depictions, he is fused with the termitary, a thief who claimed the soil, and the aniconic form of the termite hill was transformed into a saint. Anthropomorphizing the land seems to go hand in hand with occupying, conquering, and colonizing it. Shanta Durga, the most prominent Hindu goddess, worshipped in Goa, is a personified form of Satheri. At one temple, one can just glimpse a termite hill eclipsed behind the idol, a temple built on a Satheri site. Yet despite the powerful Vedic and Brahmanic influences, many sites of worship dedicated to the aniconic form of the termitary still survive. On its own, the termitary still represents ecological magic, resisting human intervention or claim. Termitaries serve as oases. They resist desertification, the result of climate change, and convert dead plant matter into energy to feed their surrounding ecosystems. Their tunnels, act like lungs to ventilate and maintain the interior climate. Termites operate through decentralized networks, and the Russian thinker and revolutionary Peter Kropotkin considered the cooperative habits of the model for mutual aid. Their labor is one of simultaneously digging, building, securing, digesting, and disseminating, like the labor of historians. History has an ever-changing topography full of holes, and when I think about the ravages of the white ant, I think of termite-bitten pages one might find in an old book, the paths eliminating parts of the text and rendering them only partially legible. How might we consider it as a pathway or portal to untold stories, small Rorschach tests made from the lack as histories yet to be recovered or uncovered? In the fungus garden of a termite mound, one might find a pantheon of deities or just wonder at the capabilities of the insects as they turn formlessness into form.
Thank you.
There was a sound for this.
Yeah.
I will play it. I
Don't
think.
Okay. Thank you.
In case you're curious. Okay, great.
Okay. All right. So is everybody here from Pitch Group A?
Yeah.
Okay. So on deck, Hannah, Laura, Sammy, Andy, and Kathy. So Hannah, you'll go first. There you are.
We're just going to make a little break so some people can sit down.
Oh, yeah.
Just 1 second. Here, that'd be great. Is there anyone else? Can we bring somebody here? Everybody else is okay?
All right.
Okay. You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Hannah MIAO. I'm a co-administrator of Chinatown Photo Album. Chinatown Photo Album is an intergenerational community source archive collecting Asian American family photographs, both biological and chosen, with ties to Manhattan's Chinatown. The project aims to preserve the cultural heritage of the neighborhood in the face of gentrification by telling Chinatown's history through the eyes of its people. I started the project a few months ago with my friend and collaborator, Lin Win. We collect photo submissions and family histories through Instagram, email, and an ongoing series of in-person workshops. And we present the submissions on Instagram, and we'll have a print publication next year. So our photo archiving workshops invite participants to bring in physical family photos, convert them into digital formats, and share the stories behind each photo with themselves and with other community members. While our focus is on Manhattan's Chinatown, we also offer workshops to any community members who want to digitize their photos. Our first workshop was funded by a microgrant from A4 and hosted at Think Chinatown. We've since held workshops at Chinese American Social Services in Bensonhurst, and we're planning future workshops with other community organizations in the fall. We share our submissions on Instagram, and here is a sample post, you guys can see. Submitted by Angela Lee, a series of photos from her parents' wedding at Jing Long in the 90s. Here's some other submissions that we've received. And then we have also received a grant from the Launchpad Project to create a zine to distribute within the community as well. Here's some feedback we've gotten from program participants. And yeah, that is the project. Please follow us at Chinatown Photo Album. And yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura Liscano and I am the Program Associate in the Artist Services Department at the Lower Manhattan Cultural Council. And I am here today to share with you information about LMCC's Manhattan Arts Grants, which provide funding to Manhattan-based individual artists, collectives, and nonprofit organizations who are presenting public-facing arts projects in Manhattan in 2024. We are currently accepting applications for 3 different grant programs: Creative Engagement, Creative Learning, and UMass Arts Engagement. And these programs support a wide range of activities across artistic disciplines, including dance, music, theater, visual art, social practice projects, and more. If you would like to learn more about our grants, please do visit us at lmcc.net/RSVP. We have a full schedule of information sessions this summer. We do offer them in English, Spanish, and Mandarin Chinese. And that's it. And if you have any questions or have anyone to refer, please do email me at creativeengagement@lmcc.net. I hope to see you there.
Hi, my name is Sammy Yen. I hope you like my name tag. My daughter designed it. Shared Lines is a project I created in collaboration with the National Trust for Historic Preservation. In March this year, I went on the first half of a road trip on Route 66 to discover underrepresented AAPI stories. Route 66 is 2,500 miles of road that stretches from the foot of Lake Michigan in Chicago to the shores of the Pacific Oceans in Los Angeles. It touches 8 states, wraps around rock formations made from layers of sandstone, shale, and limestone. It climbs to 7,000 feet above sea level to snow-capped mountains. It twists, turns, and winds its way through bone-dry deserts. It's made of miles of open roads illuminated by only the stars. It connects neon signs in small towns to the lights in big cities. Route 66 is a microcosm of America. It's often referred to as the Mother Road or Main Street USA. Many Asian and Pacific Islanders have called this stretch of road home. The size of the towns they settle in may vary, but the goal is always the same. They share the desire for a better life and to find the American dream. These 12 pieces are just a part of the shared story. What originally started out as a pilot program to create 5 pieces of art will expand into a series of 100 drawings to celebrate the centennial of Route 66 in 2026, plus a potential neon sign project in Albuquerque, a mobile bookstore to share AAPI voices, and a picture book about Chinatowns. Our overall goal is to create conversation that pays homage to the past, amplifies the present, and inspires the future. Through these stories, we can create community and hope. I invite you all to participate in the journey with us and share your experiences. The postcard set will be available at UME Books when they reopen their pop-up location, or you can contact me directly at Sammy NYC Art.
Hi everyone. So sorry I don't have a presentation prepared, but it's going to be super quick. So basically, I'm the head coordinator for this year's 72-hour shootout. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but it's basically what it sounds like. People have 3 days to basically film and submit a short film, and we already chose our winners. So our top 10 filmmakers will be screened at the Asian American International Film Festival this year, and basically we're looking for volunteers for helping set up our wrap party and clean up afterwards, for photography and whatnot. We're also still looking for food and drink sponsors. We particularly want to work with Asian-owned brands. So if you are an Asian-owned brand with and have anything that you want to donate, we would definitely gladly accept it. And yeah, that's basically it. Yeah. Thank you guys.
Hi. I have the, thank you so much. Which one? And this one? The arrow? Yeah. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Happy Liu from the Asian Cultural Council, and I just wanted to share more about us if you've never heard of us before. We were founded in 1963 by John D. Rockefeller III, which makes this year our 60th anniversary. And since our founding, our mission has been to promote cross-cultural exchange and better understanding, mutual understanding between the U.S. and Asia. And we do this through direct grants to artists, art scholars, and arts professionals who are interested in bringing this international dialogue and mutual understanding, global understanding to their work. So, as you can see, in our 60-year history, we've awarded more than 6,000 exchanges and fellowships. We work in 16 different disciplines across the visual and performing arts, and our grantees work in and come from 26 countries between the U.S. and in Asia. We are opening our 24-25 grant cycle this fall and are inviting applications. We will release our guidelines in October with the applications opening in November. And what makes our fellowships special is that they are open-ended fellowships. We encourage people to think creatively, to think openly, to expose themselves to a new culture, and we do not require a final product. So if you would like to join our roster of grantees and hopefully our wider community of alumni, please follow us and connect with us on Instagram, on our website, and I'll certainly be around afterwards to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
According to curator Don Chan, Tommy's exhibition at Baxter Street explored his interest in how community and preservation of the everyday find expanded expression in a range of photographic forms. So we are excited to hear more about your work. Take it away, Tommy.
All right, hello. That is my name, so I'm going to stand over here, and I'll probably power wag a little bit. And yeah, this is what I kind of embarrassed of not being a funnier title, so I'm going to skip it and just go right into talking about my recent show at the Camera Club in New York through the Next Step Award and the Aperture and Backstreet at the Camera Club in New York. They allowed me to publish a book through Aperture and held a show. While I was working on the show, I really wanted to bring in the ideas of community. So one on the cafe project space. I had my AAPI friends since last year. A lot of terrible stuff happened, so I wanted to see what other folks were seeing through their lens and gave them a list of prompts and all that. And the result was collapsing everyone's photographs into this collage wall well, it's like a survey, but everyone's memories are kind of intertwined into a collective survey. So it kind of started with this piece as being one of the first objects I made for the show. I basically made a photograph, but as a blanket, but it's better than that. It's a dye sublimation on fleece, I have to say. So I can't reduce it by its appearance or it's a blanket. I wanted to put a piece on the floor. It made sense. But I drew from just making everything in camera, so nothing's Photoshop. So this is just starting out with a newsprint. How my family, we often put when we gather for communal dinners, we usually put newsprints on the floor because we couldn't afford tablecloths, so it was the cheapest option. We kind of still do that, and this is mostly laying out in my studio. The collection of cutouts that I use a lot in my work. A lot of my work is though I'm mostly based in self-portraiture, it really takes cues from photo or collage and some other things. Of really everyday things that I'm hoping this isn't as taboo, but I talked to several people about this and how maybe it's okay, but I've kind of secretly, not so secretly, photographed people's shrines, but I also included my family's own shrines just to throw us under the bus. I like that they just went right there. But I started to gather them in the last 8 years. From my family home into various shops in Chinatown. Some took one in Paris. And I really was curious about how these things were made. And I printed them for the show, and they kind of remind me a lot about photography. Photography is this really, old thing that we do, that we continuously still do, that was discovered in 1839. And I like that it kind of lines up to making shrines for the home as another kind of performance of something in antiquated practice, or photographs. Their shrines are a portal to the past. So I wanted that to ground the whole show. So they kind of go Ernst Sabi and go through behind the frame and through the sticker paper that I had on the show. It's great. It was awesome. I mostly browned out during the opening. But it was great. Before I'm kind of mixing the research up into what I'm working on in the last few years, or my attempts of kind of surveying the Mississippi Delta, but more recently the Memphis Chinese communities that I didn't know were in my backyard this whole time. I kind of instantly discovered it in a YouTube channel, and I don't know. I'm gonna read an Ocean Vuong quote right now because I'm just going a little bit fast right here. But speaking of, I love this a lot. What I believe that photography just makes us all time travelers is the monarch butterflies that fly south will not make it back north. Each departure then is final. Only their children return. Only the future revisits the past. And so I feel like that's what I'm really doing with these pictures. They're really between staging and finding photographs and walking into these situations. They started to gather the remains of the signages in the South. There's awesome the Mississippi Delta Chinese Museum in Cleveland, Mississippi. Really encourage y'all to check that out. And it kind of inspired me to do a lot of research on personal people's archives. This is my friend Emmy. Photograph. I also want to bring up Ernest Withers, who had a photo studio. He was a very famous civil rights photographer, and his studio was right on Bill Street. And I love this a lot, using food and restaurants and things that are markers of our presence in the landscape, mostly because Memphis never really kept a thorough record of Chinese settlers, and the earliest one that they found through my friend Emmy's careful research was in 1873. That's like, how did you get there? All the way from the West Coast, probably. And so there was like an unofficial Chinatown around Bill Street that sprung up that I'm currently researching on. And it's kind of funny. It's the circle where the ME's group, Memphis Chinese Heritage, erected a historical marker where the Chop Suey Cafe, which was an Oriental cafe in the 1920s because it was the 1920s, still feels like that. In some cases, this is like where we are. This is where Ernest Withers would be seeing the Chop Suey restaurant. And I kind of, got really weirded out by the Elvis movie, mostly unrelated controversy last year with them. But I did had a nice shout out to the Elvis movie because they did actually acknowledge that the restaurant. So that was quite nice, even though they did not film that movie in Memphis. It's all CGI. I'm from there, so it was like, these streets don't intersect. So theater. And so it kind of has got me to do that, just recording these places, businesses specifically, restaurants, food places that kind of ties us together, but also brings up my family's immigration and a lot of Chinatown settlers, immigrants, as well as the Mississippi and the Memphis Chinese community, all originate from the same province. So you can Guangdong, Cantonese. So I'm trying to find things that will kind of ultimately connect us, collapsing the past with our present, things that continuously haunt us. Chop Suey is just a popular signage. And trying to make or photograph the kind of invisible, because I think of the transatlantic railroad picture where a lot of the people were pushed out of the Chinese laborers were pushed out of the photograph. So how do you account for official historical accuracy when it's not recorded at all? So I'm trying to work with a lot of the fragmentations of the past and through my family's very, very, very understanding of my artistry work. They kind of got over it after. I mean, they don't say that I'm an artist. It's just to let you know. It's when people ask what I do. But this is my grandmother's garden, another food, another way to connect. And this is a picture of her garden as a photo collage. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.
We'll have our second group of 2-minute pictures. So on deck, Tang, DONGSHIN, Lily, Jiang, Shirley, and Eriko. So is everybody here? Tang, are you here? Yeah, okay, let's go.
Well, we're going to have a 5 seconds.
Oh, 5-second break.
Find some seats.
Okay. So are
There
there
are
any seats?
there are
There are a couple
seats.
seats
There are
back here.
seats.
Yeah.
Yes,
Do you have
there
a
are
seat
seats.
next to you?
We have
Put your hand
plenty of
up.
seats,
Do you have a
yes.
seat next to you?
Come on, don't be shy, guys. And
Okay.
It's someone sitting on the floor with the balancing noodles on
Okay.
their head. Here.
There's another seat back over here. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
There's the floor over there.
Okay. More seats.
Okay, no more?
Okay.
Okay, you lost your chance.
Okay. Whoops. All right, let me reset this.
Hi everyone, I'm here tonight to pitch you a documentary film. Yep. My name is Tang Tian. I am an independent filmmaker. In my line of work, being independent means financial insecurity. So I am very sensitive to prices and I'm always drawn to a good deal. To find a good deal, you follow the old Asian people. If you go to Whole Foods, you never see one old Asian people there, right? That's not my joke, that's Jun Miao-Yang's joke. But I did the same, follow the old people, and I found myself under Manhattan Bridge. There's an open market operates with makeshift stands and beat-up vans. And here, $1 has amazing purchasing power. $1 for 1 box of strawberries, for 2 pounds of leafy greens, and 3 bundles of green onions. It's the kind of price that you can buy a month worth of produce for a person for the price that's less than a cocktail in a trendy Lower East Side bar nearby. So I couldn't help asking myself, why is this so cheap? Is this safe? Should I eat them? Are they grown by exploited laborers? And what's going on here? To tame my curiosity and follow my filmmaker's instinct, so I decided to develop a project. Why so cheap? So to do my research, I have to connect the supply chain. I started talking to people from retail end sellers, wholesalers, to farms. Although I haven't visited farms in Florida and North America, but that's another story. The point being, I heard so many fascinating stories about the history, about the people, about entrepreneurship of Chinatown, of people who compromises this whole food system, which is independent from the mainstream American problematic food system. So here, that's my project, and our time is over. So if you're interested, we can talk after this. That's it. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is DONGSHIN. Sorry, I do not have any visuals because we're still working on it. And so I'm going to present to you a project that we're currently working on. It's called Two Takes, the Peony Pavilion, to be staged on Saturday, August 12th at Hunter College's Low Theater. And so based on the Peony Pavilion, a masterpiece of Chinese country opera, Two Takes, the Peony Pavilion, will feature two versions of the popular scene of the play, The Garden Visit. And in the modern adaptation, Bloom, written by Li Qingxu and directed by Tian Binghe, a young Asian queer woman who, over the course of an evening, encounters the various women in her life she never had the courage to pursue, and then follow in the traditional country dream presented by the Kunshi Society. The heroine, after the garden visit, sinks into a daydream in which a young scholar passionately calls her by the Peony Pavilion. And so that would be, by juxtaposing these two takes in one program, Two Takes Peony Pavilion aims to create exposure to the repertoire of Kunshi and explore inspirations taken from the art form for contemporary audiences. And I'm very grateful that I know someone from LMCC is here. This project is developed under the support of Lower Manhattan Cultural Council. So thanks a lot, so we can get this project going. The Kunshi Society and Hunter College, as well as New State Council on the Arts and DCA. So if you have any questions, so showtime Saturday, August 12th, and two shows. The afternoon matinee will have the Kunshi and the modern adaptation, and in the evening we'll have the modern adaptation. So thanks a lot.
I'm so excited. This is like my first in-person April Town Hall, and it's just so great to be in the room with everybody. So without further ado, this is how I cut. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Lily. I am the founder and the head of content production at Mothertown Media, and we are a creative agency, newly founded, that is focusing on empowering AAPI-owned brands as well as AAPI artists with media tools. And today, I wanted to briefly walk you through this interactive exhibition that is in the brewing called Alrighty, so this might seem familiar to some of us here. In fact, some of us might have like first-hand experience and history with it. The romanization of Chinese names and a lot of names in the East Asian diaspora in the West is a familiar topic to many of us. Just a few examples here, and as you can see, this exhibition to be is named in this exact essential component of the vowel in these pronunciations. And I already spoiled it. The type of the project is going to be an exhibition. I threw in two photos from the Cucci Fritos gallery space just to give you an example of hopefully this is the type of geographical space that we're going to be able to host this exhibition in. And in terms of the mediums that we're going to welcome and firmly call for submission, includes video arts, short films, photography, painting, installation, spoken words, and dance as well. So we're really hoping that this is going to be a multi-station and multi-medium experience that is open to the public for free. This is just a little bit of context of why this is put into place. This is, again, by no means saying that it's a monolithic experience or interpretation to all of us, but these are just a few, points that really speak to me that I would like to put in there. Again, estimated timeline. Wanted to say thank you again. Sorry, time is up. Let's definitely connect later. Thank you so much.
Next up, Jen. Oh, Shirley.
Thank you. Hello. Oh. Earlier, I took my plate of food away. Maybe I struck some anger. And I'm not really good at using these clickers, so apologies in advance. Oh. Okay, Exhibit A. Okay, I got it. Hi. My name is Shirley Chen, and I'm going to be talking about Chinatown, My Chinatown, which is a one-woman play I wrote and performed. It follows 4 young Chinese-American women through the days leading up to the Miss Chinatown USA 1966 beauty pageant. Drawing on real oral histories and archival records, this explosive, tender, delightful romp tackles Cold War-era xenophobia with a beauty pageant, where guilt-ridden doubt and electric glee come hand-in-hand with finding someone just like you, but better. For context, the Miss Chinatown USA beauty pageant is ongoing. It started in 1953 as part of SF Chinatown's Chinese New Year Festival. In presenting the intersection of Eastern beauty and Western modernity, Miss Chinatown USA bolstered the tourist economy, combated stereotypes of Chinatown as a bachelor society, and served as a performance in national belonging amidst Cold War-era anti-foreignism. This is my show. It's a 60-minute performance and 30-minute living museum installation that I originally performed as my senior thesis at Harvard University this past October. Here are images from the accompanying installation. The play is informed by research I conducted in SF Chinatown. I conducted oral history interviews with former contestants and community members and collected them here. I displayed photos, videos, and dresses from the women I interviewed. And here are some stills from my highlights reel, which is available on Vimeo if you're curious. I'm currently working with a small 3-person team of recent grads to use MIAO Studios' space for early-stage exploration, and eventually we'd like to stage a workshop in work-in-progress production. We're seeking these collaborators if you're interested in hopping on board for the workshop and work-in-progress production, and also, of course, space, funding, and grants. I'll leave you with this note. This play isn't just a pageant, it's a battlefield. Before political movements gave them the words to speak, there were just shadows of feeling for these women, and this play is for purging those shadows. So thank you.
Next is, okay, Jiang. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Jiaying Zhang. You can also call me Erica. I'm a set designer. Currently, I'm working on Macbeth, which will start the preview on August 16th and close on September 10th. It's set in a brownstone next to Prospect Park on Ocean Avenue. I'm also working as an associate designer on Handel's opera Rosalinda. It's gonna happen in Rosalinda's poster. It's gonna happen in October, from October the 20th to October the 29th. It will be set in the oldest existing theater, which is Hudson Hall in upstate New York. So both productions involve very important elements, which is the architecture, to embedding the existing feeling and texture of the space, which will be very interesting to experience. And I'm also very welcoming all kinds of collaborations, all types of projects to be fun and crazy.
everybody. My name is Erika Tsoko. I'm a Mongolian American artist from Denver. I just recently moved to New York around March. I'm still building community and finding my footing here. I have 3 different quick presentations I want to show you. If you're interested in any of them, we can talk afterwards.